are now listening to Gotta Let You Know podcast with your girl, Shauna Sagaji. Now let's get it.
So what's good with you? I'm back. Gotta Let You Know podcast. So the last podcast, I dropped some gems, or at least, yeah, you can say that. A lot of you guys are like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. And that was the fact that you can, essentially become your own bank and borrow from yourself by taking money from your life insurance policy, your whole life insurance policy, not term life, whole life. And you can borrow from yourself. People didn't know that. So I thought, that's neat. I'm glad I helped somebody. And I decided in this podcast, I'm going to also drop some more gems later down in the video or later down in the podcast. I'm so used to doing videos, but podcasts. Today's topic is financial literacy in the toffee, caramel, and chocolate community. If you're part of that, well, maybe I can help, shed some light. Or, oh my goodness, my dog is barking crazy in the background. You probably can't hear. It is what it is, though. So I'm going to touch very lightly on each of these subjects because I want to do like individual podcasts dedicated towards specifically those things. For instance, like ownership, homes, mortgages, generational wealth, investments, stocks, all that good stuff, business, starting business, that kind of stuff, which, I promote heavily. But if you don't like yearn about the be your own boss lifestyle, I mean, that's fine too. For instance, some of the information or the gems I'm going to drop down later on is about like people who aren't their own boss, people who work a 9 to 5, people who work for corporations have that 401k kind of situation, right? So here we think. I want to talk about how that in the toffee, caramel, and chocolate community, how finances aren't talked about, or financial lifestyle isn't talked about a lot, literacy particularly. And that's the reason why we as a community are so far behind. For instance, we have a lot of us have, well, I wouldn't say a lot of us, but you hear a lot about how uh people don't have bank accounts. Like they use the check cash place. Like they get money, they go to check cash, they don't put it in the bank, whether they like, oh, we don't trust it, or because honestly, a lot of times they get a bank account, then they get it in a negative. They owe the bank account, so then they leave that bank account alone and they don't put money in that bank account because they don't want, the bank taking money for overdraft fees and stuff like that. And what you guys don't know, let me drop one hint right here, is that when it comes to overdraft fees, if you call them, you can have them drop the overdraft fees. Say you have a bill, it's $100, right? And all you have is $99 in a bank. A bill came through, boom, you over by $1. And then they charge you an overdraft fee of like $35. You can call the bank and say, hey, can you drop that $35 and I'll just put the dollar in or whatever to bring my balance up? You can call. Now, I wouldn't say do this all the time, but if you don't do this all the time, you can call them and have them drop it. It's just a matter of speaking up, seeing what you can do about certain situations. The whole, I would rather go to a check cash and pay this big old fee versus just getting a bank account and keeping my money in a bank account. That's ludicrous, and we should stop doing it. You feel me? Then we got the whole credit card things, right? So, or I'm saying credit, but credit cards, but I mean credit. Like, there's no such thing as free money. So the people in our community, if they are approved for some kind of credit cards, they are likely to take that credit card and go have fun with it. Buying jewelry, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting rims on your car, and then not paying the card back or not paying it off. And what happens is that then they go ahead and start getting credit in, say, their kids' names. And I ain't about that life, right? Luckily, I thank God, my mother was not that type of mother who would just put bills in her kids' names or lights in their kids' names or credit cards in their kids' names, cable in her kids' names, because a lot of kids, my thing is so many kids don't even have a chance. By the time they hit 18 and ready to get off their own, their credit is trashed and they had nothing to do with it. and they don't even have a lead start or head start. So then guess what happens? When then they have kids, they do what their parents did, put their bills in their kids' names. It's just, it sucks, man, that people are going through this and having to do this. That's why I say you got to teach your kids these things and do right by your kids, because otherwise this thing will just keep happening and keep happening, and it'll be a cycle. That's why they call it generational curse, because it keeps passed down from generation to generation. Instead of passing down what you need to pass down, which is generational wealth, which is a whole nother thing. It takes time for generational wealth. But I watched this seminar from this young woman. It makes me sound old to say young women when really we're probably the same age. But this seminar where her name was I want to say her name was Jamisa Bennett. I know her first name is Jamisa. I'm not 100% about her last name. You guys look her up because she be talking some real stuff, right? And she talks about how people say generational wealth is, passing down money. Money. You have so much money that your kids will never be broke, right? But the thing about that is that it's not true, because without knowledge is what she speaks on. Without knowledge, then money is nothing. Because if I give you right now, without you, if I gave the 18, 19, 20-year-old you right now $100,000, what's the first thing you would do with that? Shopping spree, most likely, just go and buy any and everything you ever wanted. And then guess what? After that, you broke. You probably shop all you wanted, then probably buy everything your mama want or your dad want or your siblings want, just clothes, shoes, cars, money, jewelry, all that good stuff. And then you broke. So passing down money is not the best thing. Passing down money is a help. Resources such as money and time is great, but knowledge is key. Even if you don't have the money, pass down the knowledge, so then that next generation can take that information and don't have to work so hard to figure it out. They can take that information and use it to grow whatever they're doing, to grow their wealth. It's not always about money, right? Without the knowledge to know what to do with money, well, then it's going to go. It's going to be a bye-bye. That's why you hear a lot of the rich people, when they be like, they leave their money to I don't understand this, but they leave their money to animals or charities or whatever and not to their kids. You might be like, that's because their kids are spoiled and they want to teach them lessons. No, not necessarily. It's more of I gave you wealth. I mean, I gave you the knowledge to know how to do something. I showed you my business. I showed you my company. I show you how things work. Now it's your job to get out there and make it happen the same way I did it. You don't need my money because you have all my knowledge to know how to make that same kind of money I made. And that's what I'm talking about. We need to start gaining our, because a lot of us don't even know. A lot of us, like some stuff I'm going to tell you later on, you don't even know. And then you don't know until you seek knowledge yourself. That's another thing. You don't even know what you don't know until you find out you don't know it. You feel me? If you get my gist, you don't know. And a lot of times people don't even know to go seek the knowledge unless you just somehow, you either meet somebody or see somebody. You're like, man, how did they get there? What did they do to have that? I like that. Where did they work? How did they get such a nice job? Or you driving through one of those rich neighborhoods where all the houses are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and you like, not everybody in this neighborhood got to be doctors and lawyers. How does everybody mask in all this money to afford these? You probably driving around, your little city community, and you see them building a brand new subdivision. You're like, are there people out there that coming to buy these houses? Why are y'all steady building houses? Who has all the money for these houses? Because I know I don't. I know the people in my circle don't. I know my family don't have the money to buy these new beautiful homes. So where are these people coming to buy houses from? Like, what are they doing to have the money to buy this house? Buy these houses, And that's because, and that's at that point, that's when you taking your brain, you know what? I'm going to try to figure this out. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to research it. I'm going to talk to some people, Google some people, message some people to figure out what are they doing that I'm not doing? Like, put me on the game. And that's what I'm talking about. You either see something that make you want to seek that knowledge, or you just, somebody come across you and want to lay that knowledge on you. Now, it's up to you to receive it or not, because there are times where, like, when you're young, people tell you something and, you're like, and it go in one ear out the other. And then when you're older and you're like, dang, I get what they mean now. I understand what they mean now. I don't know why I was like not trying to receive it back then. That's because in the back then my focus was on other thing, where my focus was on friends, my focus was on having fun, my focus was on boys, or being with that girl, or being with that guy. And it's just like, it's whenever you're ready to receive it. When I was young, teenage years, being poor, I was always trying to receive information that I didn't know that could help me. However, even if I had that mindset like, "Ooh, I want to learn," there was no one around me who was like, "I can teach you," right? It's only when I got older where I'm like, you know what? If no one's around to teach me, I'm going to have to try to teach myself. That's why a lot of these podcasts or YouTube videos, it's a lot of, I learned this on my own. No one taught me. I didn't have the money to hire someone to teach me or train me to do this. So guess what? I got out there, I taught myself, and now because I knew what it took to learn that, and I knew where I came from to have to learn that, I decided, you know what? Why am I going to hoard this information? Why should I keep all this information and all this knowledge for myself? I know the struggle. It needs to be taught to other people and not at a price tag, not as a, oh, get to this tier and I'll give you this information. Oh, buy this course and I'll give you no, it's hard enough as it is. People out here struggling. People need to know the get-go. I'm going to share this as to as many people who are willing to learn. You feel me? So it's about you as a community, our community, trying to seek this knowledge and grow ourselves. Business ownership. How do you do that? You find something you like to do, something you think is profitable, something you can get in within your price range, and scale it from there. Try to make your money. Stock seems to be complicated for a lot of people, but it's not. Find something you think that is worth putting money into and put a little bit at a time and grow it over time. If it's real estate you're interested in, guess what? You can go out and get real estate property and not like spend $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $250,000. It doesn't take that kind of money to be like, okay, I want to start really invested in properties. Okay, but I don't have $200,000. Do I have to get a loan? Or there's other ways. You can get property as little as a couple $1,000s. Legit. There's something called auctions, tax delinquent auctions. I know this because I've actually been to a few auctions. Kind of like laying the land. Like I want to start an investment company. I want multiple things other than my investment company, from real estate, from like, even if you guys had a business idea that you think is nice, I want you guys to pitch it to me and maybe I'll invest in your company. I'm not there yet, so don't start messing me about it just yet. But that's what I want to do. I want to start growing, start helping other people grow, build. You feel me? I don't want to keep this like, hoard all this knowledge, hoard all this money, even though that's how the rich stay rich. They hoard the money. But I feel like there is enough for everybody to go around. Stop isolating it just to you. Because that's another thing. It seems like in the caramel, tan, and brown and whatever rainbow color community, that there seems like there can only be one on top. There can only be this select few, and the rest just gotta look up to them and be like, maybe one day it'll be my chance. No, it's enough for everybody. Everybody. A lot of times when you, that's another thing that irks my nerves. Like, you might reach out to somebody and be like, yo, how did you do this? Right? And they don't want to tell you exactly, or they evade around like, I see you doing well. Tell me what you did. Well, girl, it was hard. I don't know, because it was a lot of work. What did you do? Like, I had to go through some stuff, and it was just, I'm just glad. It's just like, I'm not asking you to do it for me. I'm telling you, hey, show me the blueprint. Give me the breakdown. Or give me give me the step by step, and I'll do it myself. And that's what I try to give you guys. I'm trying to give you guys the step by step, how you do this, how you do that, because I'm tired of seeing us so low, so not. It's I'm not trying. You feel me, right? Do you feel me? Like I've gotten to the point where I've started surrounding myself around people that are not on the same level, because if you're on the same level as somebody, how are you planning to grow? I'm starting to surround myself with people who are above me, right? Like I want to be the one I want to be the one in the background just soaking in information, right? So like my grandmother, she's a business owner. She owns her own business. She does her own thing, right? She knows a lot of people all over the city. Matter of fact, in this city and a few other states, right? So when she has meetings and all that stuff, certain things that she talks about, certain things she connects with people, I'll be like, let me go with you. I just want to sit in the background, see who you meet, who you talk to, who you shake hands with. And I want to absorb that. I want to do meet and greets that like hook me up with that person. Like we can connect and do some stuff together, that kind of situation. And that's how it should be. That's the only way our community will grow. Like this, she has a company. I mean, she has a person she knows that is currently right now trying to invest in other businesses, multi-million-dollar lady, chocolate for lady. I'm like, get it. That's goals. One day, And she's like, I want to invest in like 10 people from our community. Each person I want to invest like $5,000 to $10,000, but they got to come at me with their business plan. They got to already have their LCC established. They have to, and we're going to hook them up with some advisors. I'm like, that is what I'm talking about. That's what I want to do one day. Come to you guys and be like, yo, I have this investment company. I want to invest in you guys. I want to see you guys grow. You guys, like, I want to make it happen for you guys. And that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So, ownership, owning your own business, homes. If you go to a tax auction, if you're like, well, how do I find a tax auction? You can literally just type into your computer, whatever county you're in. Like I live in Houston, Texas, so my county would be Harris County. You can type in your county name, and then behind that put tax delinquent auction. Last time I went to the tax deed auctions, I go to scope it out. Every time I go, I scope it out, see what prices or what people are bidding the houses up to, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And the house might start at like $2,500 and then it sells at like $15,000, right? They'll be like, okay, going for 2,500. Somebody raises their card, then they'll be like, okay, price goes up $300. Somebody raises card. See, every auction is different. Like, you might hear auction, somebody be like, oh, I'll take it for 300. I'll take it for 400. I'll take it for 450. Well, everyone is different. At my auction in my city, they do it they go up for 500. Every bid, they go up for $500. So maybe I'll do a video about it. I have video footage of me going and everything. Maybe I'll do it because I want to start investing in real estate, but I want my ducks in a row, and I'm not looking to like spend $300,000-$400,000 on a house, getting another mortgage or all that stuff, right? So now let's get back into the whole dropping gems things. This is coming about because someone came to me and asked to borrow money. Now I am a very giving person. I am a chill forgiver because I believe if you give to someone, it'll eventually come back to you, right? I just believe in that. Like, do to others what you would want to do to you. If you're going through hard times and need help, I would hope someone would help me. So I should be the same way to somebody else, right? So they came to me and, asked for a little change. Well, no, that was the problem. They asked for a lot of change. It wasn't like, oh, can I borrow like $5, $20, $10? Can I borrow $100, $200, $300 to pay a bill? No, they asked for in the 1,000 range. And I'm like, ooh, that's a big chunk of change to be borrowed from somebody, right? And so I started asking them, like, what's going on? And they told me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, so you don't have a savings? Which I get. Not everybody have a savings. I recommend you have a savings. Even if just every paycheck you put $20 away for a rainy day. Just put that $20 away. You don't have to have Olive Garden this week. Just put the $20 away. You feel me? But they was like, no, I don't have a savings. All I have is like my 401k and all that stuff. I was like, well, you have a 401k? Well, what's going on with that? How much money do you have in your 401k? And it was like, well, I have around like $14,000 saved in my 401k. And I'm like, well, hello, you have money. So borrow from yourself. And it was like, wait, what? Because I don't want to dip in my 401k. They penalize me. Yes, if you decide to take out your 401k early, you can get penalized. That is the truth, 100%. However, you got to understand these things are the people who created things like 401ks and all savings and bonds and all that. They've made loopholes for everything. You are just not hip to this because it's just like, oh, I signed the paperwork. Yeah, 401k, take money out of my paycheck for whatever. Da 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 da. That's the case if it's just a simple savings account. You could have just got a simple savings account. No, 401k is something there's more layers to it, right? So this is for people who, I'm not saying do this just to do this, right? This is for people who right now at the current moment, maybe you're going through a hard time and you need a little extra money. You have 401k that you have been having for a little minute. You got a little money in it and you're like, I need a little money right now. I have a few bills to pay. I got stuff going on. Hopefully this helps you, right? So there's three ways you can dip into your 401k and not be penalized. The first one is that you can have some money from your 401k transferred or put into a RA, right? You can put some money into, have it move some of your money from your 401k and move to an RA, where then you would transfer into your bank account. This prevents you from having to be penalized. However, if you do it that way, this is form way, where you move money to an RA and then have it transferred to your bank account, you will not get penalized, but at the end of the year, you will have to pay taxes on that money that you transferred to your bank account. That's way one. Way two is that you can get a loan against yourself. So say you have $10,000 in your 401k, okay? You're like, I have some major medical bill that's popped up. I need $2,000, right, to pay this bill or whatever, or to pay for this procedure or whatever, right? You can like, hey, I need to borrow money from my 401k. Borrow $2,000, and they'll allow you to do this. They can't deny you. It's your money, right? They will say you need $2,000. Okay, we'll give you the $2,000, but you must pay yourself back $2,000 plus interest. That's how it go down. So you will have to pay that $2,000 back, but you'll also pay interest. Your interest rates will be up to them. I don't know. It depends on them. But you'll be paying yourself back. It'll just be money go back into your account. And then you can do this all the time if you want to. I don't recommend it because in the end, this is supposed to be your version of savings. And then finally, there's the third option is called the hardship loan. It might be different depending on your company, but there's something called a hardship loan. My bad. I keep saying loan. I don't mean loan. It's not a loan. You don't have to pay this back. It is limited. They limit the amount of money you can take out of the account. It's usually a percentage. So say if you have $15,000 in there, the max they'll limit you to take out is $5,000 of your 401k without being penalized, and you don't have to pay it back. It's called a hardship because you fall on hard times. So they allow you to take this small little money out to do what you need to do. No penalties, nothing like that. You don't have to pay it back. It's your money. So those are the three ways. If you guys right now going through hard times and been thinking about how, I wouldn't even say you could, like, if you're looking for money to like start a little business and you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. You've been in your little job for a nice little minute and you're like, I don't have the money to start my business, and you've been doing the 9 to 5 with benefits and everything. Yeah, this is one way you do it. You heard it from here. You heard it here first, but I can't do any of this because I don't have a 401k. I've been my own boss for a very long time now. And honestly, even before I was working for somebody, they didn't have these benefits, So this only works if you like at McDonald's or something like that. I don't know if you get those same benefits. If you're like, I think if you're like the general manager or whatever like that, they give you those kind of benefits. But if you're just an everyday employee at like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or Ross, Walmart, I don't know if you get these same kind of 401k opportunities. But yeah, there's a gem for you. If you're looking for a little money that you've been needing to start a business, or I don't really want to promote it like that, because in the end, a 401k is a form of savings account. This is the money eventually you're going to try to be retiring on, But it is what it is. That's extra money you didn't even know you realized had access to. There you go. I'm going to dip out because I'm in my little studio and it's getting toasty in here. So I'll see you guys or check in with you guys another day for another dollar. Shauna out.
You heard it from your girl, Shauna Sagaji. Be sure to subscribe on your preferred platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many others. Shauna out.